We start with Matt Taberner. How close was he? Is there a problem there?
Well, there's clearly a problem. He's got some ligament damage in his ankle, and it clearly hasn't come along as quick as we'd like. He's got no pain, but he's lacking a little bit of strength. And really, we feel like if we played him, we'd be putting him at longer-term risk if something happened to that ankle again. So, with the bye coming up, and that ankle not being 100% right, and the risk to his long-term ability to play in the back half of the year, we just thought it was a risk not worth taking.
2 debutants. Talk us through that. I mean, is that just numbers?
No, we've got players to choose from. We feel like they've been executing their roles really well at Peel. Both players have come through our academy together, been a part of the club for a long period of time. Both got strengths that'll hold them in good stead at AFL level with their speed. And we feel like they've done enough to earn an opportunity. Clearly the injuries presents an opportunity, but we think they're ready to take it.
We know Weston. What does Walker bring to the team?
Well, he's an incredible athlete. I feel like his ability at Peel to get in really good defensive positions and defend really well have been really strong. His ability to take the game on with ball in hand and use his speed in offence will excite our fans. And clearly both of them aren't the finished product. They never will be in their first year, but we think they've both done enough to earn the opportunity.
Just 4 league games for Walker. So is there cause that you to be excited? Like you've got.
Sorry, just the start of that question.
I think it's just 4 games for Walker in the Waffle. So.
Yeah, I think it's. We played 2 reserves games. I think it's 4 or 5 senior games. But he's an incredible athlete, and sometimes like with these younger players, we're trying to get their bodies right as much as anything. So he's got a body that'll stand up really well. He's got a fitness base that'll stand up really well at AFL level. So those concerns with him are never there. So it's just probably the footy stuff that we've had to get right, and we feel like that's up to a level where he'll be able to help us.
What sort of role have you got?
Yeah, he's a halfback. So him and Tucker will play high halfback. He's got the running attributes to be able to play that role really well for us.
And does Joel slot straight into midfield?
Oh no, he'll play more as a forward. We've been trying to split his time at Peel. He's mainly played as a forward at Peel, had some moments on ball, but he'll play as a forward for us. High half forward, get up and down the ground, bring his speed to the game.
We saw Sean in the game on the bench last week, and then he had scans in earlier week. Is he definitely going to play, or is he?
Yeah, he's going to play. Yeah, the scans came back all clear. Last week he went into the game with a sore hammy, and once he started getting soreness in there again, we cramped. Once he cramped again, there was just a no-risk policy with how important he is with us. And like I said after the game, we were probably more optimistic on Sean than the others. And the scan came back good, so he's ready to go.
And to welcome Alex Pearce back, is that going to create some balance across the field?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I'm looking forward to having him back because he's played on the key forwards all his career, the big guys, and they've got a big guy in Ben King. But his leadership's really important to us as well. He's one of our most vocal, demanding leaders, and that'll bring some leadership to our backline, some organisation to our backline. And I would have rather not lose Coxie and bring Pearcey back in, but he's a good replacement.
On that, with Reece Conker finally getting his call, what was the thought with leaving him in the Waffle with the defence and the leadership that he would bring?
He just had aspects of his game he needed to work on, and sometimes the best way to work on them is to go back at a lower level where the game's a little bit slower and easier to some degree, and you don't have the pressure of it being broadcast and all those sorts of things. Sometimes that's easier to work on your game, and we feel like his last 2 weeks at Waffle level have been really good, and he's earned his recall and will play his 150th this week. So really proud of how he's approached the last 3 weeks. He's gone back with real maturity, real purpose, and he's a better player for it.
With such experience, what were those things that he kind of had to work on?
It's sometimes the best left between the coaches and the players.
On Alex Pearce, what sort of confidence do you and he have in his body?
Real confidence. He's played 2.5 games back in, and 2 full games and a half a game back at Waffle level. I know he had the incident first up, but changed a few of his training loads around, and the last 2 games he's got through really well with his lower leg injuries. Seen a real shift in his mindset and his confidence, and that's given me a lot of confidence. And the injuries have played a part, but we would have welcomed him back this week no matter how many injuries we lost. So we think he's ready to go.
How significant is Stephen Hill's setback?
It's not ideal given his history. I really feel for him. He was progressing so well, and he was looking at playing in the Waffle this week. So it's a real dent to his confidence and our confidence, and I really feel for him. But knowing the character he is, he'll get back to his rehab. He'll rehab it, and he'll create another opportunity for himself.
There's a chance for him this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Has Nathan spoken with surgeons about his shoulder yet? Are you any clearer on what that's going to be like?
Yeah. We feel like he'll be able to play out the year. He's got to get some strength back in his shoulder first, so we don't put it at further risk of damage. But we're pretty confident that he can play out the rest of the year.
How much of the rest of this season will impact Adam Chera's decision, do you reckon, Joe? Do you reckon the way you finish off, will that have an impact on what he decides to do?
Probably not. I don't think so. I think he sees what we're trying to build here. He sees what the future holds. The opportunity we've given to the younger brigade, especially through the middle of the ground. I think the footy stuff will look after itself. He's got to make a decision on what's best for him and his family, and and I'm respectful of the time he takes for that, because it is a big decision. He's a young man with a big decision in front of him, and we'll give him as much time as he needs to make that.
Does that mean more women's, Justin, in the Gold Coast midfield, and especially with Freo back? Does Sarong have a role this week for you?
Oh, he might. Yeah. It was sort of the way we've lent the last 2 of the last 3 weeks. I think allows Caleb to play to his strengths, be around the ball. I think it helps the team. So, I'm not going to name who it is or give you too much detail, but I think it's a role that suits Caleb.
How have you seen the Suns this year?
I think, like us, they've had a few flat spots, but their best is very good. They're a very good contested team. Their work rate to support their backs and get hard forward is really good, and a lot of that's driven through the middle of the ground. And they're developing as a team week in, week out. So they'll be fresh off the bye. We've got to be ready for them, and I think we've had a good week in preparation. So looking forward to tomorrow.
A lot of people will be really excited to see Matt Rao play. What goes through your head when you see his name listed in the 22?
It's good to see him back. I mean, he's a young gun of the comp, and he's had his injury setback, so you don't like to see that in the stars of the competition. So hope he's a bit rusty, and he can finish off the year and beat some of the other sides up.
Are you tempted just to take him on, not to have to sort of have a run with player on? Because he's just coming back, first game. He hasn't got five though.
We want to play our way. We want to play our way all the time, and we want to make sure that we don't lose our identity and react too much to the opposition. But I also think, as a team, we've got to respect the opposition's strengths and try and take some of them away from the opposition as well. So we're always trying to get that balance right.
Have you made a decision on who will captain the side this week?
Yeah, Dave will captain the side. He's a former captain of the club. He's done it for us this year. So, he can take that responsibility on, tossing the coin.
You're 2 games out of the 8 at the moment. If you lose this one, is it the final start?
I haven't really thought about that, to be honest. It's been a 6-day break. We've had a lot to deal with this week. Just want to set the players up to perform really well, and that looks after itself.
And where's Blakely at, Jado, then? So he's been dropped, hasn't he? So he might be...
No, he'll be a part of the team. Yeah.
So going forward, you feel confident that he'll be at the club next year?
Well, he's got to work on some aspects of his game. And to get midfield time, he's got to get ahead of Mundy, Chera, Fife, Brayshaw, these types of players. So I think the sub role has suited him 2 of the last 3 weeks, so he'll do that for us again this week.
Is there a trade-off though in playing as a sub week in, week out? And not
It is, yeah. Yeah, it is. It is a bit of a trade-off. We gave him an opportunity last week in the side. I just got confidence that he can execute that role well for us. 2 of the last 3 times he's been sub, he's come on and had a real impact and helped us perform. So, stick with what we know, and he's done that well.
What does Brett bring to the team? That's sort of gone under the radar a bit.
Yeah, well, he's had a real battle with injury, and it's been nearly a year since he played. So he's battled osteitis pubis for a bit. He's a true winger, and it's probably something we've lacked a little bit of, just that true winger type who holds balance for us, runs really good patterns on the wing, and can use the ball well. So, Blake Acres has probably been our only real winger since we moved Aishi back. So it'll be good to have 2 wingers in the side.
You worked really closely, Justin, with Nathan Buckley. How did you reflect on the news this week?
I was a bit shocked, to be honest. And I don't know, Collingwood and Bucks obviously made a call, but I'm sad to see him out of the coaching ranks. He's a person who taught me a lot in my 2 years at Collingwood. So it's sad to see him go, but I don't think it'll be a loss to the industry or loss to coaching for very long.
Back on Fife and Hill, what are the timelines on those 2?
We're hoping Fife will be right for the Collingwood game. Fingers crossed for that. He'll have to improve a fair bit, and it's probably a month for Hilly.
Hammy or Carr?
Hammy.
Will you actually set many through the waffle this week?
Yeah, there's some guys returning from injury. So Banfield returns from injury. Valenti's still building his minutes up off the back of injury. And there's probably couple others. So we'll have some players down there. It's important that they go back and perform really well and be ready if we need them. Yeah, good on you.